先开了2家纯女酒吧的贝贝，前两天发。
Hello everyone, it is your girl, the one who opened 2 women-only bars in Xi'an. A couple of days ago, I posted a video, which was a route guide to our women-only bar, and in the comments section, I received a huge amount of malice, saying I am creating gender confrontation, and some people asked me, if the women-only bar does not allow men in, who will pay the bill? And then they asked, why are men not allowed in? Today I will explain to everyone why I opened a women-only bar, and what a women-only bar actually is. First of all, the original intention behind doing this was because we wanted to have such a women-only place, where girls can chat, socialize, have fun, mess around, drink, and do all of that in this kind of environment. This is what I wanted to do. But these days, we have also received a lot of kindness from girls, and every girl who came to have fun was especially nice. A women-only bar is simply an environment where only women drink, and it does not contain any malice. I just want to provide a women-only place where you can party, have fun, dance, and where everyone can dance with peace of mind, drink with peace of mind. What is wrong with that? Xi'an actually has a lot of fun, normal mixed gender bars, everyone can go have fun, and if you do not know where they are, I can also recommend them to you. But there are still girls who need this, who want to come to this kind of women-only environment to have a drink and go clubbing. And if you have any doubts, or if you find me annoying, you can unfollow, you can stop following my account, and you can also stop asking about my account. Every time you watch my video and then insult me a couple of times, that actually has no impact on me, but it wastes your own time. I still hope everyone can often come to the women-only bar to have fun, and our women-only bar will also do our best to create this women-only environment for everyone, work hard to make our events richer, the music better, and then I hope more girls who love dancing and love having fun will come play soon. Oh right, and also, many girls are concerned about who will pay for them when they come to have fun. As the owner of this shop, I am not worried at all, who will pay for the girls. So you do not need to worry about it, just keep your own wallet safe, live your own life well, worry less about other people's business. Bye bye.
全女酒吧闭店的事呢，在网上沦为了笑柄。
Women-only bars. Are they really reliable? The women-only bar closure has become a joke online. From the trial opening on August 21st to announcing closure on September 4th, calling it the fastest closing shop in history would not be an exaggeration. This bar, including the owner, had a total of only 9 female employees, and it also only accepted female customers. It must be said, in terms of the idea, it broke the stereotyped impression of traditional business operations. It really was quite unique. Doing business, and right from the start you block out half of the consumers, just hearing it already feels unreliable. It would be hard not to go bankrupt. Of course, closing so quickly was not entirely because of this operating model. It is said that the owner could not manage her female employees, and there was a bartender who was slacking off and demanded medical compensation, saying that mixing drinks made her hands sore and painful, and she also privately took money from customers. As a result, the owner found out, and this bartender then joined forces with the other female employees, organized some kind of Avengers Alliance, used women's inborn tendency to stir up trouble, and exposed the female boss's social media account online, causing the female boss to suffer online abuse, and she had no choice but to close the shop. Let us just say, if this female boss had ever lived in a girl's dorm, she probably would not have made such a startup model. The ancients truly were not wrong. 3 women make a whole drama, that is no joke. Setting aside human factors, this kind of business model is not something we have never seen before. For example, women-only bookstores, women-only gyms. Anyway, so far, there are no successful cases. Although women's consumption ranks first, you need to know that in places like bars, most of the time it is men who bring female friends to spend money. Otherwise, if it is just for drinking, can you not drink at home? Can you not drink at a restaurant? So going to a bar is not entirely for drinking, it is for the connection between people. A bar, to put it bluntly, is a dating venue. You keep all the hunters outside the door, then who will pay the bill? How will you make a profit? Are you relying on feelings and ideals? Even outsiders like us can understand the business logic. I do not know what this female boss was thinking when she started her business. So a women-only bar is absolutely not a good project. Some people might say then, are men-only bars reliable? I think that could be discussed.
为什么我只说了我支持全女模式，就已经惹得某些人开始骂街跳脚？
Why is it that I only said I support the women-only model, and it already made some people start cursing and jumping around? What interests did that offend? Some time ago, I posted a video about my support for the women-only model, and it triggered large-scale scolding. I have become immune to this situation. It even shows up on schedule once every 1 to 2 months, as regularly as menstruation. Their ignorant scolding and jumping around can make me feel a kind of powerless absurdity, and it even sparks my fighting spirit, pushing me to grow faster, climb to the mountaintop, and then let their scolding become helpless sobbing down at the foot of the mountain. But why am I repeating the reasons now? The reason is because I scrolled past 2 videos. One was a boss who opened a women-only bar, and the other was a female founder of a women-only space who wanted to provide women with a safe lodging environment. Between the 2 of them, and including my video supporting the women-only model, the 3 of us have all, to varying degrees, been suppressed, smeared, and insulted by the opposite sex. At that moment, I suddenly realized why, in their mouths, women-only models, women-only economies, and women-only spaces will go bankrupt as soon as they appear. It is not that the market does not accept it, but that every time a women-only label appears, they react as if triggered, and they go crazy to smear and suppress it. That is what they do. The women-only model is simply restricting the opposite sex from entering. Why does this trigger them, and what interests does it offend? But I want to say suppression, smearing, and stigmatization have always been common tactics in history used to prevent women from participating in public space and the economy, and the goal is simply laughable. It is to deny the legitimacy of women having autonomy. Second, I have been a female content creator for a long time, and in my eyes they are like animals that can be triggered at any time. Now think about it, when do cats or dogs we keep get triggered? Because some behavior you are not aware of scares them. Because the establishment of our subjectivity, your online support for women-only, and your offline opening of women-only spaces, this behavior marks women turning from the role of being observed and serving others, into the leaders of the space. The first thing we do when establishing rules is to set rules for this space. And for setting rules, in their impression only they are allowed to do it. Do not forget they are used to being little emperors. They will feel violated and offended, they will feel anxious about being excluded, and they start to feel fear. What are they afraid of? They are afraid that the social resources they have occupied for thousands of years will be disrupted. They are terrified that the future society will no longer prioritize them and serve them. They will feel at a loss, they will panic. And then their insulting and smashing behavior, what does it want to show? It is to use violence and humiliation to tell us women that we are challenging the dominant position they have long held in public space. That is their indirect admission that they are used to being little emperors, and they do not allow women to compete for resources and space. It also reflects the hidden gender privilege in today's society. Why do they feel offended and violated? Because they assume that in every space, they have the right to enter. What an overbearing state and posture. It is like saying, I can say no, but if the word no comes from you women, that is a challenge to authority. Sorry, times have changed. This is no longer the era where one person supports the whole family, and one person is the dictator in the household. Women can create their own value now, and can say no to your behavior. We need to know that society is developing and the system is changing. This so-called violence and humiliation, and smearing and stigmatization, will only intensify women's rise. I am not targeting everyone, I am only targeting those who overreact during change. Their core is truly fragile, and their cursing, attacking, smearing, and stigmatizing just happens to prove that the women-only model is not only a business choice or a lifestyle, but also an experimental field that challenges the gender order of public space. Remember, we women are no longer beggars, we have the ability to create our own space. Your violence, humiliation, and insults only show that you are a tiny vested interest holder.
不出所料，全女经济崩了。
As expected, the women-only economy collapsed. The essence of the women-only economy is sisters specifically cheating sisters, desperate for money to the point of going crazy. The women-only economy sounds beautiful, like women-only hiking, women-only bookstores, women-only repairs, women-only gyms, women-only bars. But when women-only businesses go bankrupt, it is like a tornado. Why does it collapse? Because the women-only economy not only goes against human nature, it also lacks business logic. It only cares about gender, and does not care about service or after-sales at all. Tell me, how many women go to a bar,
put in tons of effort doing a full face of makeup and styling an outfit, and in the end go to a bar to be seen by women? The so-called pleasing yourself, you do not even believe it when you say it. And there are women-only studios, that is basically paying to go to work. You have to bring your own office supplies and computer, later they may even consider working in an internet cafe, and every month you still have to pay money to keep the company running. The abacus beads are flying right into my face, you are even harsher than a creditor. And then there is that women-only renovation team, they do not take jobs first, they sell classes first, charging 288 yuan per session, and what they teach is still middle school physics. You do not really think 220-volt electricity cannot kill simple-minded people, do you? In real life, there are women and female masters in every industry, but look at those women who seriously do the work. How could they have time to film videos every day while staying spotless? Maybe the original intention of the women's power economy was good, but among a group of feminists, the women's power brand is no longer a safe harbor of mutual help, it has become a blade used to stab women in the back.
给你们看一下一个全女健身房，卷不动就倒闭，不挣钱那也倒闭，要想活下去就涨价。其实我一直在想，我呢只是开了一家别人都不敢开的健身房，每个月159元的健身月卡，设备呢用的都是进口的设备，场地现在的铁馆也好，健身房也好，比他们有的都大，健身设备现在上百件。普拉提团课的月卡呢359，相当于200块钱，你可以每天上课，一节课就几块钱。真的想做一家不一样的健身房，真的就这么难吗？全女健身真的活不下去吗？
某些搞女性主义、女性力量的这帮人真的是其心可诛。
Some people who promote feminism and women's power truly have sinister intentions. They use the banner of creating a women's utopia, but they trick women as if they are fools. They said the era of the women-only economy was about to arrive, so why did it collapse in just a few months? The recent incidents are really outrageous. What is going on with women these days? Not long ago, a women-only outdoor hiking organization in Beijing almost got everyone wiped out because of the leader's self-righteousness. Because all participants were women, they were full of confidence, and the female leader felt it was a very routine hiking route, so no one did any scouting beforehand. As soon as they entered the village, the female leader took the wrong road, and that was it. One wrong step led to more wrong steps, and the whole group, under the leader's guidance, got lost in the forest. Slowly everyone's stamina was depleted, and the leader still confidently cheered everyone up, saying we will soon find the way back. But the sun was about to set. Fortunately they met two camping guys on the road, and the two guys gave everyone food and water as supplies, and they very kindly said they would lead them down the mountain. But at that moment, the leader's confidence exploded. She declined the guys' kindness, and insisted on leading everyone back the original way. The way back was even less like hiking, it was like rock climbing. It was already almost 8 p.m., and the sky was almost completely dark. With no protective measures and no lighting, this women-only team truly relied on sheer survival instinct, slipping step by step, and finally made it back to the village. This activity that should have ended at 4 p.m. ended up, because the leader was unreliable, lasting until after 10 p.m. The girls who participated all sighed that it was truly an absurd day. Afterward, the organizers even issued an apology letter, roughly meaning gender first, right, and wrong second. As a female leader, she bore tremendous pressure. Does this sound familiar? Like the line, setting aside the facts, do the team members have no fault? But the key point is, when you encountered the help of the two guys, did you not righteously refuse them? This apology letter turned the women-only economy into a complete joke. Is this not simply that you failed to do your basic service properly, and yet you take the stance of crudely excluding all men? Not long after that, Shenzhen had another women-only outdoor camping event, and the incident of being wiped out by a cassette stove explosion was even more absurdly terrifying. It started because an event was held, calling together dozens of refined and independent sisters to join a pretty camping trip. The theme was to discuss how to develop the women-only economy, for example, how to open a women-only gym that will not go bankrupt. As a result, only 3 minutes after the event started, the cassette stove on the table exploded and wiped everyone out, and no one was spared, and some were so severely injured that they ended up in the ICU. At first, they thought it was the cassette stove's fault, but after checking, they found out that one sister had stored an extra gas canister inside the cassette stove. She thought it would not look good if it was outside, and she also placed this extra gas canister closest to the flame. She might still have been enjoying how good she was at organizing, and the next second the gas canister overheated and exploded. The injured sisters had no experience and no common sense, and directly washed their wounds in the dirty water of a nearby stream, creating the possibility of secondary infection. Now, the sisters in the event group started defending their rights against each other, but the planner turned around and kicked those injured sisters out of the group. There are many more examples of these women's power incidents collapsing into absurdity. I advise everyone, in the future, do not participate in activities or commercial events that use the women-only model as a gimmick. Because most of them are very likely traps, and in serious cases, you may even face safety and life-threatening risks. These so-called feminist economies are businesses stabbing women in the back under the slogans of women's unity and women's rise. It must be said, some of those who promote feminism and women's power truly have sinister intentions. They use the banner of creating a women's utopia, but they trick women as if they are fools. If you really want to do women's business, you should find ways to truly solve women's pain points, face women's needs directly, instead of targeting women's wallets.
Recently, women-only business projects, such as women-only bars, fitness centers, and homestays, have become popular, promoting women-only spaces. But now many projects have closed one after another, becoming major business failure cases. Data shows that among women-related business fields, bars, homestays, and photography have relatively high popularity, while most women-only fitness centers have closed. Many women-only gyms charge high fees, their target customers decrease, costs increase, and the industry is sluggish, with a closure rate exceeding 14%. The survival of women-only models is difficult. Women-only bars are in bad shape. Many cannot last more than 3 months. For example, a women-only bar in Shein closed after operating for only 14 days, with few customers and difficult operations for the owner. Women-only bookstores are also hard to sustain. A women-only bookstore in Shenzhen only lasted 198 days, and half-year sales were only 1161 books. Women-only homestays are also not ideal. Customers feel the surrounding environment is unsafe. In contrast, women-only renovation teams, because they solve the practical needs of women living alone, are still operating and are the only survivors among women-only businesses. In short, business survival requires understanding market rules, and the road of gender segregation gimmicks is getting narrower and narrower. Is this model progress or regression, making people pay money for segregation? If it were you, would you be willing to pay for the women-only economy?